Welcome back to ESL Southeast Championship Season 6 Qualifier 3. We are at the grand final best of 3. My name is Jojo Troubling Paris and I'm here with Brody, Gustav, Vernon. Good evening. Are you ready for the second game of this best of 3?
Ready as I'm always going to be. And straight off the bat in the picks and bans,
Haha.
this is going to be an interesting game right away.
So, here we have the picks and bans loading for you guys. The players cannot wait to see who is going to win. So they went in it straight away and we can't really blame them. We really want to see who wins as well.
I just can't wait to see the next how the team comp's going to come into this. What are they going to pick? What are they going to get into? How are they going to move away from the last game and change up a lot of the pace? Because last game it was quite a long game. It was like they let it slip into the team fight orientated, which kind of went both ways, I have to say. But then eventually, just that split pushing now just completely demolished a lot of things. Especially, the Cho'Gath was a strong pick, but ultimately wasn't the best front line. So I expect a lot to change going into the picks and bans.
And by the way, check this out. Check what's banned right now. Do you see anything weird?
Goodbye Israel and goodbye Zin. We will no longer be seeing you for this match, especially after the last game, just watching these two go head to head. So, respectable ban, but Ornn picked up. This is going to be an interesting one.
Ornn picked up this, most likely is a top lane, but we see the Zinzo banned from x25, which gave him the win, and the Ezreal banned for MR,
Reverse
which
roles.
almost gave them the win.
So reverse roles there, and then I think that's just a bit of a respect. Like, okay, you both played really good, so let's just get rid of both of them. We don't want to face any of them.
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, Emma at this point didn't have a choice in this draft because they banned the Ezreal straight away. Exactly.
Yorick? Oh,
so
this is going to be an amazing game.
Oh, we have the Yorick in the top lane. So look at the bot lanes. They have literally swapped supports. We had Jhin Karma in the previous game for x25. Now we have Jhin Nami. And Emma had Caitlyn Nami. Now it's Caitlyn Karma, which works just as well as Jhin. And oh my, Gustav, we do have the Yorick. And we were talking earlier this game how Yorick is going to be the top laner to look for.
Especially coming into the new season, the new runes, and also like the changes to his Q. He now can do so much damage to towers. He's like a mini Nasus where he does so much damage on his Q procs, and then he's got his ghouls to help him, and he's just going to be a sieging monster. And going into the matchup versus Ornn, he can do quite a bit of damage, especially early game. And also see the respectful Jarvan ban.
Jarvan did bring a lot of success to MR, but they don't necessarily want it in the hands of x25 either. So let's see what the teams are going to opt to go for here. Because I'm really excited to see if we're going to see like any Hekarims, Rengars, Kha'Zix.
They've left a lot of the assassins on the table. They've got rid of, the mid lane assassins like Orianna. You're going to see Kassadin's also gone, Azir's gone, Talia. There's a lot of focus on the mid this time.
There was a lot of focus on the mid lane last picks and bans phase as well. But here we have even more mid laners because if you add the Ezreal to that mid lane group, you basically have 7 mid lane bans.
Are we going to see a Gragas come into this? I haven't seen Gragas in a while.
I haven't
and
it is going to be locked in, yeah.
So this is kind of a weird composition, just right off the bat. Like, how they're going to complete the teams, how they're going to set up for the team fights, because we see both these teams are quite, the team fights are not one-sided, where if they get the right picks and now both teams can go in this perfect head-to-head fight.
Boy, oh boy, is that going to be a Nidalee jungle? And yes, it is. Nidalee generally does really good against the Gragas early game, but then later in the fight, if she does get caught by the Gragas, it's not an optimal place to be in.
And Syndra just slipping through there in the cracks right there, and it's just very, very strong mid laner, the current meta.
Okay, so we have very standard so far. The only thing that stands out is the Nami, but we saw her last game. And of course, the big elephant in the room, who is no other than Yorick. And I'm holding my breath for the mid lane, because that could be another surprise here. Wait a minute. It
Mid
is
lane
Karma
Karma.
mid lane, exactly. They are going to play that Siege comp. They are going to have the Yorick split pushing on the side. And then they
Like
are going to take the
Caitlyn.
Caitlyn with the
Caitlyn bot
Karma.
lane is very strong, especially now paired with Braum. That's a lot of defense there. And also Caitlyn's very ranged. So you have this Braum on your face and then you're just getting poked from the distance. So that's going to be, it's a strong composition. But also Syndra does a lot of damage. And also Nidalee does quite a lot of burst damage, especially long range, also with the Qs. And then you have Jhin for the just, extra range. Why not throw it in there? Heals with Nami. And then you have Ornn. So you have Nami and Ornn ultimates, which are both very strong for disengage and engage.
But you have to think that Braum counters both of these ultimates with his Unbreakable.
Yes.
At least
Yes,
one
he
of the
does.
two he can block. Also, he can block spears if they find themselves in a very tight place, in a very uncomfortable spot, let's say.
Especially under tower when Nidalee starts to shine with the pokes.
Exactly.
Oh, this is right off the bat. This is an interesting matchup right there. I can't wait to get into the game just to see how they play this. Especially like, okay, early game we focus a lot on, but now this time I have to focus even more just because both these comps can really excel in the early game. It depends on who gets, the first blood or the first pick. And then you can actually, with all these compositions, you can just snowball.
I think this time I'm going to give the early game to the side of x25 solely because of the reason that Nidalee does generally beat Gragas. But then when it comes to mid game, if you get caught, Nidalee needs to be in a very safe place, being able to poke. But if you just get caught in a team fight where you don't want to be in, then it gets really sore really quickly, and I'm not sure right now what the Yorick can bring into the table, so they're going to have to keep an eye on that.
If they want to make Yorick, become a lot more viable, he's going to have a very strong early game. He's going to be able to get his farm, start getting the ghouls up, and start letting them leap, and start taking down Ornn. Because once Ornn hits, like level 6, 7, once he gets his ultimate, and once he's just been in lane long enough to buy items and, outscale the Yorick, he becomes very painful. And the difference is in a team fight, if Yorick pops his ultimate gets knocked down very quickly, which is easy to do with, a Jhin and Nidalee and especially Syndra. Then Yorick's pretty, kind of like, well, what do I do now? I can't really just jump in. Whereas you have Ornn, who's very tanky, has a great ultimate, and does a lot of damage, a lot of max health damage, which can counter Gragas and Braum.
So which composition do you like the most when it comes to team fighting?
Team fighting, I'm going to have to give it to x25. Just the Ornn, the Nami, the Syndra, those ultimates are extremely strong, extremely painful. Even though there's a Braum to counter it, I think they're going to be able to, get around. Like, if they send out Nami and then Braum blocks it, then, you have, oh, well, Ornn's going to pull this out.
See, what I see here is x25 having a composition which actually wants to fight. They want to engage.
Yes.
They have the poke, and when that poke lands, they want to engage on that. On the other side, with the explosive cask, with the wall that Yorick provides, with the Unbreakable by Braum, and the Karma massive shields, you can disengage so easily, but then what is your weapon to re-engage?
They have a lot of CC. That's the thing. They have, the correct form of CC to, engage or disengage. But the damage is going to be a big question. Like,
it's all on the Caitlyn,
sure.
basically.
It's all on the Caitlyn. And I have to say, Karma is actually going to be doing having to try and pull up a lot of damage in this. If she can't, then, well, Caitlyn's got a lot of carrying to do.
Basically, I feel like the composition of Emma needs to go super well early and mid for it to shine, whilst on the x25 side you have very hard scaling champions such as Syndra and Jhin, which you don't mind if they don't go that far ahead early game, even though they do generally do pretty good early game as well. So you are siding on the team fight with x25. I'm gonna side on the team fight part with MR. I just don't see a way of them being able to re-engage after they have been engaged on. I don't see any potential ultimates or abilities that there will be left. Like if you use the Unbreakable to disengage, if you use the Karma Seals to disengage, if you
You
use
don't have much to
exactly
re-engage, yes.
if you use the Explosive Cask to re-engage, then all I see potential to engage with is a flash body slam by the Gragas, and then what is gonna follow that
He's
up?
gonna be very weak, especially against an Ornn and a Jhin, you know, just poking at him while he's trying to get close in your face.
And then who's gonna back that Gragas up after everybody has used like their tool to disengage? So if you're wondering how you can join our action as well, exclamation mark qualifiers in the chat will give you the last possible qualifier you can join to be able to claim this 5,000 euros prize pool. It is an open qualifier. You can grab your friends, you can grab your team, and you can join exclamation mark qualifiers in the chat. And if you're wondering exactly for any more commands,
you can also go ahead and enter the giveaway by taking away exclamation mark giveaway to win yourself an ESL 2.0 chair and some vouchers for the shop.eslgaming.com store. You can also exclamation mark brackets to see the brackets, how these teams got here and what they had to face previously. Also exclamation mark commands if you end up forgetting the commands. That one's pretty straightforward and can help you.
exactly, and if you don't have enough information already, you can just simply go to esl.gg/officialsec and look it up yourself. You're like, you know what? You're confusing me. I don't want to listen to you. That's great. You can just go straight into the website and find out more. And of course, that giveaway is pretty good. I would suggest you just run and take part in it because, come on.
I want to take part in it. I'm sure you guys want to take part in it.
I would take part in it as well, but then I don't know. It might be a bit shady if I win. So I'll just leave it for you guys.
It's a comfy chair.
It's a comfy chair, but you know what? My chair's pretty comfy as well. I'll just leave it for you guys. So we are slowly but surely getting back into the game, and I think I'm running out.
I can't wait to see Yorick in top. I'm so happy that they picked
Okay, I
him.
was about to say I'm running out of ideas. Yeah, talk to me about Yorick. Why do you think he is going to be that strong force in the team?
Well, the whole thing comes down to the way his champion kit works. So you have to farm, you have to do a lot of things to get Yorick right. But when you do it right, Yorick can actually be two champions. He can have his ultimate up to do a lot of damage. He can have a lot of CC. He has his burst damage with his Q. And then he has a lot of sustain. His Q provides him with a bit of, health back. And he has so much to keep himself in lane. So he's just a split pushing monster with his ghouls, his ultimate up, his Q landing on the tower, doing a lot of damage. So it's a very strong pick, but it's also very, a lot can go wrong. You can get completely ganked out of the game, or you can mess up some of your combos and you're completely out of it. And as Yorick, once you're out of it, you kind of out of it. There's not much you can really do to come back because you need a lot of farm, and late game, farm is pretty scarce.
Well, it's really hard to go back into a lane without a tower and then get ganked over again. And we all know the true strength of a Nidalee early game. She can't gank that Yorick over and over again. So exactly, he's gonna have to be super careful. We do see double teleport running for the side of MR, and the Syndra in the mid lane has opted for a heal. She would rather be safe from the Gragas that's gonna be running around.
I think anybody will want to be safe a bit from a Gragas, because if Gragas catches you out, there's generally one or two other people just waiting around to be like, hey, I see you caught off guard there. Let's put a bit of damage onto you.
Alright, so have you played any Yorick this season?
I have played, I'm not gonna lie, I've played about 30 games of him.
That's why you are so
along with Aatrox
vocal about Yorick, right? Oh, and Aatrox, of course.
And Aatrox, but also Ornn is very fun to play in the top lane. He does a lot of true out damage, and I don't know, the top lane meta is one of the things that gets me quite excited, and I can talk for hours or even days on end about how the meta is just shifting completely. I mean, I've seen Garen come back into this, but that's just me. So,
hey, wait, you know that what? Maybe some coaches by teams could be watching the stream and they might get get ideas from you. You say that the Garen is strong. They're like, wait a minute, maybe it is. Like, this guy maybe knows what he's talking about.
Well, that's what happened
We
with
could
Zin.
try
Somebody
it.
else, actually, I remember how Zin came into this. Somebody was like, we should ban Zin. And somebody's like, why? On stream. And the guy's like, well, he's pretty strong. And like,
Yeah.
it took a week and the meta changed. And everybody's like, yeah, Zin is
You know
insta-ban or
what?
insta-pick.
Maybe we
The
should
new ESL.
ban this in. Yeah.
I can remember ESL coming into this. You either pick or ban him. There's no question about it.
Same as the Ezreal, and we did see they both went through. Both the teams kind of regretted it, and they banned them straight after again. So.
Well, like, I'm very surprised I haven't
reason.
seen a Kha'Zix. Like, I'm still genuinely shocked I haven't seen a Kha'Zix in a while, because Kha'Zix is one of the, I don't know, he's like an assassin, but in terms of his map awareness, or like not more like map pressure, he kind of forces people to just play a lot more safe. It's like having a Rengar. The moment a Rengar pops the ultimate, you start running for the hills.
Okay, there is a small pause being popped, and keep on talking to me about this because I'm actually really enjoying it.
Well, there's a lot to really talk about. Syndra, if you want to go in the matchup in the mid lane, Syndra's ultimate is one of the scary things. The moment you get stunned, you know it's coming. She starts pulling up the balls, and it's painful. That hurts a lot, and especially going against Karma, who's Karma's not the most tanky champion. She does a lot of damage. She has some sustain, and she has a lot of poke. But when you catch off a Karma, especially with a stun from Syndra, it's going to be a painful matchup, and I just can't wait to see these go head to head.
All
Especially
right
the
then.
Yorick.
Did you specifically whisper that?
Maybe. I don't know if that was me or my dog. My dog tends to whisper things in my head. Wait.
Hey,
I'm going crazy. It's been a long day.
Hey, we were talking about how clever your dog is, so he could actually be whispering stuff. So let's see how the teams opt to start. Again, are we going to see these cheeky wards into the enemy's baths, or are we just going to see complete and utter
The usual
like,
rubber
passive?
band.
Yeah.
I expect to see the rubber band. Like, neither one of these teams wants to get caught off guard in the early game, and there's not much they can really do in the early game except for, Nidalee doing a lot of damage. Unless Nami finds, bubble onto somebody, there's not too much that could go on. Or Yorick has his, his usual wall, and you see the spears being thrown out.
This is also what usually gives Nidalee the edge early game. That spear that landed right there is usually why.
Half health. Oh dear, I should probably go back. It's one of those, like, you walk into lane, lose half your health, and you wonder why.
Exactly, and right now Karma does not know if that Nidalee has actually invaded and is going to take that red buff away from the Gragas. They have no intel, they have no idea where the Nidalee is going to go.
That's the presence Nidalee does, is like, where is she? Where is she? It's like having a Kha'Zix in Rengar, like I said. She does a lot of damage, she does a lot of poke, and the difference is she has range, whereas a lot of junglers don't really. Like, Gragas has some poke, but not too much.
So we are going to see mirror starts for the two junglers. They're going to start from the bottom side of the map, and they're going to end up on the top side of the map.
Well, that's kind of like been the route lately, especially with Jarvan. But going into this, you want to see Nidalee start helping out Ornn in the top lane, because you don't want that Yorick to get ahead. Otherwise, it becomes a painful matchup.
Let's see if it is going to be exactly as you said. I'm really, really interested to see this matchup also. And I really like this Yorick skin, to be honest with you.
That's one thing I do miss,
looks
is
very
Yorick
pretty.
skins.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he glows.
So, Gragas has opted to clean his wolves as well, thing which he might regret, because Nidalee is right now onto his red buff, as we can see on the map.
That's a very smart play, because Gragas doesn't have one of the best clearing times, so it takes him a while to get up to his buff. He doesn't need red so early on. He needs the blue a lot more than the other champions, but the red definitely helps with ganks and stuff. So you're going to see him, try and opt for counter invade or something later on to try and get back into it. Well, it's too late once you realize. You're like, well, I have to do something.
I think he kind of knows that his red buff is gone, so he's like, okay, screw it, I'm gonna go for my raid. Since my raid is gone, I'm not gonna lose any time. He's gonna most likely get level 3. There he go, off of that, clean the blue zombie ward that's left behind. We have a back and forth in the mid lane. The Sun is going to land by the Syndra, so is the Eri by the Karma because of the Q, and we already have a
It was a very
lot of back and
even
forth.
trade.
And look where both the junglers have ended up, towards the top lane. Are we going to see action?
The moment you can get your top laners to start snowballing or being ahead, the moment you start to win a lot of the map presence, because your top laners, you know, both of them have got teleport, and both of them have this map potential. Jhin and Nami just look how much they've sieged them under tower, how much they put Braum and Caitlyn all the way back. It's not something you often see in the bot lane.
Well, Jhin is usually a very hard pushing ADC, and there's a lot of people who start Jhin with a Doran's ring just because of the power he gives him with the mana to be able to perma push. So I'm very weirded out here, since it is a pushing lane between the Karma and the Jhin, why that Jhin has not started with the Doran's ring.
It really depends on how they want to, if you want to play this aggressive style, if you want to play this more laid back, but they're going straight for the, you know, well, we might as well be in your face. Let's try and get Braum before he gets ahead, or let Caitlyn, you know, become the lane pusher that she's known for. And top lane has been a bit of a stalemate for now. The bad news for Yorick right now is that he gets completely outscaled from... in terms of the early game, whereas Ornn can just sit in lane and, you know, be like, oh, I can just buy items as long as I don't lose HP. I can just stay here. He can buy mana crystals. He can buy a lot of health items, so he can just stay in the lane and be annoying. And Yorick is really low in mana, as you can see.
He's low on mana. He's 10 CS ahead as well, though, which is very big plus for him. Is the spear gonna land? No, it doesn't. Flash away from the Karmas. It does not want to chance it, and the Gragas is in that bot lane bubble, is going to land on the Braum, so he is going to be called off.
Like, if that spear landed, that could have been very well first blood right there. But look at the top lane, look at this damage right here. The burst from Ornn is actually quite strong since his recent changes with the max health procs. So bot lane, a bit of a gank. Gragas is a bit slow in the early game. Walks in, you know, the Nami bubble lands, perfect disengage, get away from it. It's going to be the usual safe thing. So at least I have to say they are pushing very slowly towards now, instead of going for this aggressive that we saw earlier on. So they are being a little bit more respectful since Gragas showed his face.
I just see now why it makes sense that Emma grabbed straight away the Karma. They had in their hands that they want to put that Braum into their composition. So the Karma is a big counter in the bot lane for Braum. But taking the Karma into their hands and putting it behind their ADC, plus the damage it does in the mid lane, is even stronger.
You can use it to your advantage and not let them get that counter pick. But right now, it seems like Jhin and Nami are just being a pain to deal with, especially now that Nami is doing a lot of poke and Jin's also just being able to root and do a bit of burst damage. You see the top lane, this is a giant wave. Gragas is around just to prevent any dives that might have happened right there, but not... Lily is just hanging around the mid area. She's just clearing, you know, she had like that triple buff start. She had a great attempt in the mid lane.
Oh,
with the
Braum's
gank.
gonna get caught there. Bubble is gonna hit him, but he is gonna be able to walk away with a little bit of his health left, but still, there wasn't gonna be enough damage to just go for him, and he would have his flash and the heal by the Caitlyn. So wisely, the bot lane of x25 backs off there, but Caitlyn is yet again alone in the bot lane as he was before. Caitlyn is a very, very diveable ADC, and here you see the Nidalee is coming. The bubble is going to land, the Nami is going to tank the tower, but the wave is gone.
That all comes down to, sadly they weren't able to push the wave back fast enough or keep the minions alive and do enough burst damage. So it was a smart decision to just get away and just play it safe, because they knew that Braum will be back to lane anytime shortly.
Syndra ultimate is going to be popped. Another Q is going to be landing on the Karma, but he's pretty healthy. And right now, Braum is just fighting 1v1 with that Jhin. Bubble is not going to land. The stun is going to land from the proc right there. And Nidalee is back in the bot lane, and she wants blood. Spear is going to land. Flash and Q on the Caitlyn. First blood for the Nidalee. She wants to go on that Braum, but the Gragas made his appearance. Flash, body slam, and ultimate. The Ignite is going to go down. The Nami is going to flash away.
That was a great attempt from Gragas to try and, you know, get back to a 1-1 trade situation, but it wasn't meant to be. Especially that Nidalee did so much burst damage, landed the perfect Q, got the flash, onto him, did the burst damage, and got out of there. Is in the mid lane. Just see how much Karma actually hurts there. This is going to be a scary matchup. The top lane Yorick does manage to find him. Look at this damage coming out from Yorick. But now, you see, this is kind of where he starts to lose a lot of his focus, is where he can't really push under tower because he does lose his ghouls and he does lose his ultimate damage.
Beautiful ghost, by the way, right there on that skin. That looks... Great job to Riot's people who designed this ultimate.
Thank you, Riot. You really want me to buy more skins.
Oh, God is going to be coming down, but the I'm sorry, the Ornn is going to be very low to chase that goat back into action. So he is instead going to be sitting underneath his tower.
It was a very smart decision to pop his ultimate there to get away from it. But you see, look at the damage coming out now.
God.
He just managed to land his E there to proc his ghouls to target a new person instead of the tower. And look at the damage coming out there. He can do it again if he lands it. He does land it. It is doing a lot of damage. But the thing does go back to the tower. And there he has lost his stuff.
I'm not sure if the Ornn can be able... Oh, the spear is going to be missed.
A lot of damage from Nidalee. She could end up getting this if she ends up to land a spear just now.
And Yorick walks out with his flash.
That was kind of a weird situation where, like, Ornn can't really help. He's used his ultimate. There's not much he can do. He's
here
low
comes
health,
the Karma onto the
it.
Syndra. Beautiful stun to get her away from landing her binding. And Syndra is going to be hitting back with some Qs. Oh, flash knock up by the Braum. Here comes the Gragas knocking up that Jhin. Is stunned. He is going to eat the trap as well. He is dead to rights, but the Gragas is going to be going down and the Ornn is called to arms with TP. Nami is going to be fighting the Caitlyn on the side, but that Braum has no way to get out. He's going to get bubbled. He's going to get killed. The Syndra is down there. Where is the Caitlyn going to go?
Nowhere at the current moment. She's just gonna have to run for it and try to get up and hope
potentially get executed. Let's see.
If she waits long enough,
there we go.
It is the right decision. She didn't get attacked, so she will be executed. That was a smart player out there, just not giving any gold there. And meanwhile, Yorick wasn't able to really force out too much in the top lane. He wasn't able to get under the tower. He's just, you see the waves back there now. He's walked all the way back to lane. Ornn is going to be there, and not too much tower damage. But look at the mid lane. Look at that damage out of Syndra. This could be a kill. This could be a dive, but Gragas does come eventually to just make sure things don't go south.
And again, even though we see the Yorick pushing, right now after this wave, Ornn is going to be ahead in CS.
And also, he can just stay in the lane.
Exactly.
He can just get an item, stay there, continue to be, you know, annoying Ornn that he is.
10 CS ahead for the Ornn. There's not much attention that has been paid in the top lane for the side of Emma, which you said from the start, Yorick really needs your attention, jungler. Pay attention to your Yorick, and he's gonna give back to you, but that hasn't been the case. Here comes the flank from the Braum. Is the passive going to land? They're gonna opt to back off. Even though they have so much vision, the Caitlyn was so far away that she wasn't able to enter to be able to do the damage. And we said again, most of the damage comes from that Caitlyn right now.
Yeah, and what happens now is they're forcing Gragas to be in the bot lane. He's not able to be at the top lane. He hasn't been there in a while, and he's not really been effective. So he's been forced to be in the bot lane, forced to try and respect them.
Ultimates are being popped by the top laners.
He just misses though. This could go south, but he is still doing out the max health damage. Here comes the Q to try and sustain. The ghouls are out. There's going to be a lot of damage going out there. He's going to have to get away. Could actually go for a kill if they wanted. No, he's just going to do the usual. Let's back off. Let's play it safe. Let's get him out of lane. And Yorick's going to stay for a little bit longer while Gragas makes his appearance in mid.
In the top lane, and the Yorick is pushing the
ult
lane.
For ult, flash for flash.
But the Ornn does not have TP to come back, so he is going to lose a big chunk of that wave. Although Yorick does have the TP to come back if needed. Is he going for first blood though?
He still has his ghouls, he still has his Q. Look at the damage onto the tower. This could very well just be the first blood tower there. This is where Yorick does shine when he's left alone in a lane with nobody to really challenge him. His ghouls are up. And the tower is going to be there. The first blood tower going their way. That's going to keep them in this a lot longer than the early game.
Look at the vision that MR has behind the bot side river of X25. They literally know anyone who might come that way.
And they can start
Keep in
making
mind,
plays right away. You
Yorick
see the
has
dragon.
TP right here if he is needed to be called into arms, but he's gonna get stopped by the On. The Kama is fighting with Syndra in the middle, and the Q is going to miss, but the bind is gonna land from the Jhin, and she's gonna run away. She needs to dance very well right now, which is not gonna happen because the Nidalee is in, and she's gonna be killing her. The Ignite goes down onto the Braum. Ultimate is gonna go down by the Braum, and the Syndra is right there to give that last tick to kill the Braum.
Ooh, the heal. Just saving her life in the end there. If Braum managed to hit that, that would have been a kill there.
Very, very aggressive playstyle right here from X25, and MR doesn't seem to know how to reply to that. 3.5k ahead in 13 minutes in, and now they have their eyes onto that Infernal Drake. That Caitlyn has been left alone in so many situations. This is the only person who is going to matter late game, because it's going to be the only real damage that's going to be coming out of MR.
Well, like, Palmer does do a lot of damage, but he's very squishy. And, like, with Nidalee, Syndra, even Jhin, it's going to be painful to try and land, you know, a certain combo and, you know, try to get that damage out there. Especially now you see they're off 4 kills ahead, and Ornn is showing his way in the mid lane. I think they're trying to eventually... They haven't swapped yet, which is kind of interesting. So Yorick's just going to continue to push this top lane.
Alright, so that Infernal Drake has not been contested yet, but again, keep in mind, Ornn's TP is just coming up, and Yorick just used his. So if a fight breaks in that Infernal Drake, Ornn is going to be able to join in, and Yorick is not. But look at what Yorick is doing right now. He's taking the Rift Herald all on his own. He's just that split push force that we said at the start, but doesn't necessarily need to join the fights because he can take towers so fast with the ultimate.
What happens is he ends up putting a lot of map pressure. If you don't end up taking him, or you don't force him to fight, he's just going to take towers, you know, take Rift Heralds. Although he's in a little bit of trouble, as you see Ornn comes out to the side. So is he going to catch him off? He does, though. He does land at the... Bulls are going to leap, but he doesn't have too much of a gap closer.
Double is going to flash body slam onto the Syndra and explosive cask back. She almost took Karma with her, but there you see the true power of the Braum stopping the wave. Stopwatch is going to go down. The bubble is going to land on the Karma. Is she going to walk away with her life? Yes, she is. 1-0 for MR.
That's just Braum and just playing perfectly. They're just countering everything, playing it safe, getting
Bubble
away,
is going to be
getting away the
landing on
damage.
the Gragas here and the bind from the Jhin. But they are going to opt to pull back because there is no wave with them, and that Yorick is going to start hard pushing again in the top lane. So the Ornn has to
Still is his
pretend
ultimate up.
Exactly. Wait, when does this ultimate end?
Never. Until the ghoul dies. So he can just literally walk into lane, put the ultimate and walk out like you see him doing right now. That's one of the strong things with him. And then Ornn's left to, you know, battle that. And he can just back off, get items, walk back to lane. But in a teamfight situation, Ornn does bring a lot. Especially, you know, he's got the TP up.
That is going to land by the Syndra and the spear by the Caitlyn. They're going to chase that. They are trying to chase that, but the slow from the Braum is going to stop them dead in their tracks. And they're going to put again their eye on that mid lane tower, which we said over and over again how important it is for teams to take that mid lane tower to open up completely the game. Spear is going to land onto the Gragas, but it doesn't do much at this point on that
tanky
Gragas. Exactly. And
Not
look at where
something
Yorick
you
is
really
going. Yorick is taking his friend Rift Herald, and he is taking it towards the bot lane, where he can potentially take another tower.
It's a smart move to try and take, you know, force somebody else to, you know, react to that. Otherwise, he's just going to continue pushing. But it's not going to stop the siege in the mid lane. They're still going for this. They still want this tower. They want to get this crucial mid tower to try and, you know, force objectives. And what that does is it gives them a lot more control over, you know, the dragon in the Baron side eventually in the later game.
There you go. Ornn is going to trade that tower in the top lane. And that Jhin is left all on his lonesome in the bot lane. Let's see if it's actually going to be dangerous versus that Yorick. Oh my god, that skin is so glorious, I can't stop looking at it.
Well, glowy things attract a lot of eyes, especially mine. I definitely want that skin. Just looking, that Braum skin is also another one to mention that's quite... Look at that knock there, just forcing Nami to be like, okay, well, I can't really engage. If they proc that, I'm dead. But So far, it's been a very CC battle. There's a lot of damage. Nidalee is just running around quite fast, you know, getting sped up with the... So there goes another Q onto the tanky Gragas. There's not somebody you want to land it onto the Caitlyn,
Oof,
especially
that
a level
almost
9
landed
Caitlyn.
onto the Karma. So this
Very
is what we
close.
said. If the poke lands, then there is a chance to engage. But what happens when it doesn't land, and then you have all these traps
Well,
from
they've been
Caitlyn?
sieging this for 4 minutes now in the mid
Exactly.
lane.
And they can't take the tower down, and they are 4k ahead. Because with all these traps from the Caitlyn and the shields from the Karma, and they are breakable from the Braum, it's almost impossible to engage this team. But then, what reply does MR have to this gank by Nidalee onto the Yorick? He is gonna go instantly down after the spear landed, and his goal is gonna go down with him straight after. 3-0-1 on that Nidalee. Explosive Caps is gonna find nobody. Ultimate is gonna land on the Karma from the Syndra, and now the ultimate from Braum is gonna go down as well. Bind onto that Gragas, who is almost dead to rights. He's gonna go down to that Nidalee. 4-0-1. Bubble lands onto the Braum. Can he survive this? They have no mana on the side of MR, and that Caitlyn is yet again left alone to defend.
This poor Caitlyn, but you see how much damage Braum was able to negate just with the shield right there, just stopping so much damage coming out there, especially the burst damage. But they are finally going to get this mid turret, and
they're gonna get the
there's
tier
nobody
2
to
as
really
well.
defend it.
The Caitlyn cannot go anywhere near this team. It is
Especially
so
when you get hit by a
dangerous.
spear in the face, so he's gonna have to back off right there.
That Yorick so far has not been paying off. I have not seen him in any team fights, and he has been going down to ganks, and then he's
That's
not...
the whole thing.
Exactly, he's not that strong right here.
He needs to get ahead to be able to 1v2
Now the same
and then
thing is
push
happening to
lane,
the
but
On. He has 3 people onto his face, and he is gonna be shortly going down. Or is he flash onto the blast corner? He's gonna be getting away. Is he though? Because the Gragas is right
Look how
there
tanky
to
he is.
claim the kill.
boop, and there goes the Ornn. So that actually allows quite a bit to do, especially with that pick. That opens up the whole bottom side of the map, except for Nidalee, who's just going to be farming along there. So get the vision out. Let's start to set up. The dragon is going to be up very shortly in about 54 seconds.
So, with this team, X25 has, Baron is a huge possibility as well, with all the heals from the Nami and the damage from the Jhin and the Syndra and the Nidalee. It is a huge possibility.
But if they get caught there, that's the whole problem. If they get caught there with, you know, Braum can jump in, get a nice engage there. So it's quite a hard one to say what can happen in terms of if they get caught, they're in a lot of trouble. But they do dish out a lot more damage.
Alright, here we go. X25 is taking control of the Baron area, and we have the Ornn Goat coming down onto the Yorick. Gonna hit him a little bit, and that gives a signal to Yorick to back off of that tower, because he has absolutely no vision of where the rest of X25 is. He's gonna opt to back off. He does have his teleport if he's needed to join any fights that are about to
Especially
break.
Dragon's up at the moment, so like you should kind of suspect like there's going to be a little bit more than an Ornn there, but there isn't. But you never know what's going to happen. But look at all this vision being cleared and more wards being placed, traps being thrown up.
The whole
as they
top
are setting
side
around this
right
Baron.
now belongs to X25, and the only side MR has any vision to is the bot side towards the dragon, and that's only inside the jungle. Which is
I
getting
think this,
cleared out right now as
dragon's
well.
going to play, yeah, the dragon's going to play quite a big role in this next fight. As you see them, I think they're really starting it now, but they have kind of noticed like all of them have shifted towards the south of this map, so we are going to be seeing
That dragon
a
went
very
down
quick
so
dragon.
fast, yeah.
That's the whole thing we spoke about. There's a lot of damage on the team, and they can't really contest this. The best they can do is now try and push this mid out, as
If there
Caitlyn's
was a
really
time
doing.
to fight, that would have been it, because the Syndra was sitting in the top lane, but now the Gargas is being caught between a lot of members of X25. Bind is not going to land, but the body slam is going to land onto the Nami, and the Yorick is on her as well, explosive cast on her, and she's still not dead. The Ornn is in between everybody. The Nami is going to go down to the Gragas finally, and the Ornn is next to fall in line. Curtain call is going to open, but the tankiest member is going to sit at the front. Almost hits Caitlyn on the side. That was very dangerous right there. Yorick is onto the Jhin. Oh my god, what is this damage? He's gonna continue. Redemption is gonna try to come down and heal the Jhin. He's gonna heal the Jhin, and it's gonna kill the Yorick.
This poor Nidalee
The redemption kill.
is that's a sight to see. a redemption kill. It's one of the most satisfying things in the game.
That's
it's
why I
almost
said
as satisfying as
beautiful.
landing a Nidalee Q and
Oh
almost
my
killing down
god!
Rom. And she's just going to continue to chase because she can. There's not much they can really do. They can't turn now. They've used their ultimates. There's not too much disengage. So this is, like you said, if there's opportunity, there it is.
Well, that redemption kill was the highlight for me this time. I love it when there's redemption kills. You don't see them that often, so when you do, you gotta praise them a little.
I like it's a little sniper. Just it does such little damage, but when it happens, it is amazing. It's like getting a flashbang kill in CS:GO. But enough with other analogies of some other esports titles, how they are. Look at that spear landing out there, not doing too much damage, finding the Braum, but you know it's not doing too much into the tanks. But it does catch him out.
I'm not sure they want to be in such a tight space against the Karma, which can do this. And the Braum with an ultimate. Babel is going to miss right here, but the damage is returned by the Jhin. Oh my god, that bind landed for like, didn't land for like 0.1 centimeters. The Nidalee is going to be chasing. The curtain call is going to open, same as the wave, who is going to be stopped by the unbreakable of Braum. The gold is going to take Karma down, and then the Gragas falls as well to the hands of Nidalee. And that is 2-0, and the Baron up.
That was textbook play there with the Ornn.
Has teleport, but what can he do? Is he going to opt to just swap?
The question is he going to try to take
here?
the Baron, or try, you know, prevent the Baron, or is he just going to go for the whole, let's just push as much as I can?
I don't think he can contest here.
I don't think anybody can contest, especially on that team comp, especially, you know, Gragas is down, so you can't really have a bit of a smart play there. There's not much you can do. You're just going to have to give it up and be like, well, we're going to have to play the next objective and try to get back into this fight. But the gold lead is really telling a strong story right now.
We do have 7k ahead on the hands of x25 and 2 dragons, and yet a Baron buff on them. So let's see which lane they're going to be choosing to hit. That Nidalee peak, I mean, we have seen some stellar jungle from their side. Before the Zinza and now the Nidalee.
Oh no, that
they're doing a
Nidalee
really
is
good job.
Painful. And now, like, Caitlyn's kind of not out of this game, but she's very squishy, she's very situational, she needs to get like a pick, and it's just not happening. I can't remember the last time I actually even saw her use an ultimate.
Yeah.
It's been kind of like she just hasn't had the chance. She either gets popped off or there's nobody low enough to use it.
Exactly, that Caitlyn is usually left behind at the end of a fight, not being able to do anything, not being able to defend, and in general not being able to react to anything that's thrown her way, because she's either the last one left, or she doesn't have the space to be able to move in to do the damage, even though she's one of the highest range ADCs that there is in the game.
And you see
Bind is going to land onto that Karma, and the Ornn is going to go in for a headbutt, but then he's going to opt to get back out. The tower is going to go down, and now they have their eyes onto the bottom inhibitor tower. That Braum is burning away slowly from the damage of the Syndra and the Nidalee landing, but there's 4 traps right there. Who wants to eat a cupcake?
Well, they have to, like right now, they have to try and avoid Nidalee spears. They have to try and avoid this. Look at that damage there going straight out.
Braum ultimate is going to go down. Ornn is going to jump back in and headbutt everyone. The wave from Nami is going to go back in. Redemption comes down, but the Braum is going to fall to the hands of Jhin. Ornn is really low, and Yorick is trying to finish him, but he can't. That Syndra is going to jump in to finish the Karma, but she's going to lose her life. Do that Caitlyn, who is happy at last to receive some action in some sort of fight. That is a 2-for-1 in favor of x25, and it doesn't stop here. They're gonna try to get the Caitlyn. They do get the Caitlyn. Double bubble for the Nami onto the Gragas and the Yorick. Third shot hits. Fourth shot is not going to hit, but the Nidalee is gonna do the job, taking down the Yorick, and the Gragas is gonna be on his lonesome, trying to defend against 4 furious and fed members of x25.
Especially like Ornn right now is being
boy, they
so
have their eyes onto
the
next towers.
5
seconds onto the Karma. This is getting dangerous if they continue pushing, but they're gonna opt to get out.
That's a smart play, especially Braum's now back here. You got your 2 tanks, you got Gragas now who's healed up, come back in there. You just want to disengage. You don't want to give them a chance to be like, oh, well, you gave us, you know, 2-3 return kills. We can now just push down mid and take more towers. So Syndra's been forced to go to the top lane to clear the wave, and now you see them doing the usual, go down mid, let's clear out the minions, let's try to get back into this. But this gold lead is going to be a bit painful, especially the way it's going. Quite large. I'd have to say it's definitely favoring them.
We do have another, unfortunately, for the team that takes it, Air Drake. I mean, at this point of the game, Air Drake is the last thing you want to see, especially if you're MR and you want to sneak a dragon in.
Oh, you want to
Drake?
try to get back into this, you get down there, Drake. Not, you know, there's a lot more that could, you know,
That could help us
but
maybe come back into the game, but that's not a flipping Air
but the
Drake.
siege is not ending. This Ornn is continuing out the top lane. Meanwhile, Yorick is ulted in the bot lane and is going to be pushing it out. So somebody should be having to back just to defend that base. But they could actually end if that happens. Like, it's at the point where you're asking, well, split pushing's kind of not working, and it's going to continue not to work, especially trying to defend.
The spears
They
just
are
keep on
painful.
hitting. They hurt the Brom. The Karma is going to be trying to do the 1v1 onto the Cinder. The Caitlyn loaded mid. He's going to go down, and the Q is going to hit from the Karma. Down goes the Cinder. That will give them a little bit of a breather for now, because one of the big DPSs in their team is down, and the Yorick is pushing in the bot lane. Caitlyn is very healthy to deal damage as she's just setting down her cupcakes. And x25 is going to have to go back, but Flash body slam is going to land on the Nami and the Brom ultimate, and C goes down to the Caitlyn. One spear is going to land onto the shield of the Brom, and the Ord is into the fight and stunned by the passive of Brom, and he is going to go down as well to the Gragas. Look at the Yorick in the bot lane.
Yes, exactly. They're going to have Yorick in the bot lane just continuing to push. Nobody's been able to go
Flash
back.
and Q from the Nidalee is going to take down the Karma, but what are you going to do into 3 members of MR? And that Yorick is taking inhibitor. What is going on?
That's the whole thing. And you're only sending Jhin to stop him? Like, I suppose the
Who
whole
else?
point
Everybody else is dead.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing. Like, that whole engage there was so well played that they caught them off guard. Like, hey, we should be back into base. And then the next minute you have, you know, Braum jumping in your face. And that's going to get you back into this. This is going to close the gold lead just a little bit. And there is that Air Drake you spoke about.
Well, they are going to opt to take it. So this is why I'm saying it's a really sad situation. Because you just had a comeback fight and you want something to reward you,
like
but then
no
you don't feel rewarded enough to get an Air Drake. You know what I mean? Like, 1 minute and 30 seconds for that next Baron fight. If MR can pull a miracle and get that Baron, that will be life-saving for them right now. They need that miracle. They need to come back. They have managed to close the gap a tiny bit. It was 13k ahead for x25. Now they're only 9k. We'll say 9k, but that's a huge difference for this time of the game. It's not like we're really far into the game where the items don't matter. They still have advantage in items right now as is.
Look, also the damage, they still kind of have that advantage. It's not like they've lost anything. They haven't lost too much momentum. They got picked off. They had the perfect play there to get a comeback. So if they want to continue now, they need to stop getting caught off guard. Braum needs to, you know, be there in the front line, needs to negate the damage. Nobody needs to get caught off. Ornn can't be there in the wrong position, and literally can't be making...
The goal is still there by the Yorick, since he was pushing that inhibitor.
Oh, it's going to continue pushing. That's the whole thing about Yorick. Like, he's very annoying to deal with as a split pusher, because if he's not there, his ghoul could always be there, and he could have other ghouls, and it's... now you see they sent Nidalee. Nidalee, she does have the advantage.
That's very weird that the Nidalee is down there when the Baron is spawning in 15 seconds.
That's very risky. Especially now, let's say Yorick now manages to get a kill, or at least stop Nidalee, has to go back. That's going to delay the Baron and even perhaps give them, you know, the advantage going into that fight.
Bubble is going to be landing onto the Braum, same as the Q of the Syndra. Is it going to be the ultimate onto the Braum? Is he gonna go down? Bubble is going to miss, but the Ornn is right there for a big headbutt, and the Nidalee is jumping in. Down goes the Braum, and the Gragas is next on the turn. Down goes the Gragas to that Nidalee as well. 10, 1, and 6. And do they go for the Baron? Do they stop the Yorick, or do they finish the game?
That's the whole thing. You see 38 seconds, and now both your tanks are down, so there's nobody to really stop the siege. You're going to be taking these towers. There you see, there's the one going to be going
Karma
down.
is teleporting with the Yorick. What is going on? Are they going to try to finish it on their own? We have a base race right here, and we are looking at the side of MR, trying to take down the Nexus Towers. One Nexus Tower is going down, but the Syndra is back to defend it. The Karma is running away. On the other side, both the Nexus Towers are down, and the Nexus is going to be going down as well. It's so close. The Karma just went down, and the Caitlyn went down. There's nobody to defend. Good game, well played for x25. Clean sweep, 2-0. And oh
For a
my
moment, I thought you were
god!
going to run out of breath there, and I was going to take over. But it seems like you handled that perfectly. Just going in. What a way to end a series.
I mean,
2-0, but
we wanted an
a base
explosive
race.
end. And oh my,
You
Yorick
can't
was
get better
so
than this.
close to taking that Nexus tower. Like, had the Karma TP'd a few seconds before, like, had that call been called a few seconds before, like, straight when it
They
came into
were
the mind of
very
Yorick,
close.
exactly. It could have been the win for them.
Exactly, like that's. We've seen turnarounds. We've seen teams, you know, go, oh, okay, we can turn this game around, or like they're down and they make a team play and they end the game. But I've been a long, long time since I've seen a base race like
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Especially having a Yorick in a base race. That's one thing I never expected.
Well, one thing we know for sure, he's really strong at taking these towers, and he proved it. And like I said, oh my god, if the Karma had joined him few seconds before and like boost the wave with him before anyone else could back, before the Syndra could back, that could have been a whole lot of different story. And
And that
again,
was behind Yorick.
big congratulations to x25 who are going to join Team Horizon Reapers and Rift Esports from last week to the winners of the Open Qualifiers. And remember guys, one more qualifier left for you to join and be able to put your hands on this 5,000 euros prize pool. So make sure you type exclamation mark qualifiers in the chat to take part to our tournament.
For you, it's tomorrow. For me, it's actually happening today sometime because it's already tomorrow for me. And I just have to say, what a way to end the night. I'm looking forward for the qualifiers for tomorrow. I can't wait to see what teams are going to be there. Can't wait to see the compositions that come up, and I'm extremely excited. But if you are also as excited, you can also enter a giveaway. Don't forget, exclamation mark giveaway to win yourself an ESL chair and some vouchers at the shop.eslgaming.com store.
And if you need any more information about anything else and you want to join and you don't know how to, esl.gg/officialsec. I think we are so down for today, but don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Go into the chat and type exclamation mark social to find our social media, because we're going to be posting exactly when we're going live, or simply hit a follow on the stream, and we're going to be going live from this stream, from this channel right here tomorrow. So again, congratulations to x25 and Team Horizon Reapers and Rift Esports. They are the 3 winners so far. One more to come out of our tomorrow's quarterfinal. I mean, oh my god, I'm losing my mind. No quarterfinal,
That's fine.
open
it's very late.
qualifier, exactly. So make sure you take part in it. So, any last words?
I don't know what else is going to top it. I don't know what to expect tomorrow, but if each time it's been getting better and better and closer, and then a base race on the 3rd qualifier. So what's tomorrow going to be like? Are we going to be seeing some
Maybe we
next
see
level
base
stuff?
race from like every game. I don't know.
Who knows? Can't wait what's in store. It was a very great day. Was very happy to cast this game and very happy to see, you know, these picks come in, and especially, you know, the rising talent in these scenes.
Well, thank you very much, Gustav, for joining me tonight, and I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Not just you, but every single lovely viewer that was with us today. So for everybody, have a lovely night or lovely day wherever you are on this earth, and don't forget to follow the stream or us on the social media to learn when we're going tomorrow live with our 4th and last qualifier. Which team is going to make it through? We will see you tomorrow. Have a lovely night and stay tuned on the stream.
Goodbye.